Hey! Hey! Welcome back to Cosmic Frontiers. And as you can see, we are not in the regular base. Now my plan for this episode was going to play through the Steam Age again, because there was an update, and it is quite a big update. Yes, there is a new Steam Age. As you can see, there are a lot of new quests, and it is quite interesting, especially because we are going to be playing through Occultism. There is this first part of Greg Tech Eras, and we do need to get into Occultism in order to progress into LV, because there's been a lot of changes in recipes as well. So my idea was to play through this Steam Age again. I'm not going to do that, plans has changed again. So what I'm going to do is go through most of these Steam changes, as well as how are we going to be using Occultism in our base, because we will need to implement Occultism. However, before that, let's go through some interesting changes that has been implemented in the update. And the first one has to be related with super tanks and super chests. So the recipe haven't changed. What has changed is the capacity of all of these super variants and also quantum variants of the tanks and chests. So I think LV super tanks, they used to have a capacity of 8 million millibuckets. Now it was halved to 4 million millibuckets. The same with the MV, so now it is 8 million millibuckets. HV is 16 million millibuckets, and EV is 32 million millibuckets. The same happened with the super chest. Now they take 4,000 items, 8 million items, sorry, 16 million items and 32 million items each. Is it a big change? Maybe. I recognize this change mainly because I was wondering why I'm not producing more benzene. And that is because, yes, it has been half the amount of liquids that a super tank can hold. So basically I cannot produce more benzene because I cannot store more benzene. Now the next change is related to input and output hatches and buses. So the craft has been changed. Before, if you wanted a hatch, you only used a hull of the respective tier together with a piece of glass. And in case if you wanted a bus, it was, instead of glass, a piece chest. Now, for all of the buses and hatches, we require an assembler. And as you can see, the input hatch now requires the machine hull, a piece of glass, and plastic. In the case of the ULB, it can accept glue as well. But if we were to have an LV input hatch, we don't need the machine hull, we need a barrel and the plastic or glue. If we were to get an MV input hatch, we would need the plastic, a bronze drum, and the hull, and so on. So basically we require a drum of the respective tier together with the hull and a plastic. Almost the same for the input buses, but instead of a drum, we require a crate. Now the output bus is the same, but the only thing that changes is the circuit number. So output will be on circuit number 2 and input on circuit number 1. The next change is all about food gregification, and in this case there is a new machine, the Advanced Culinary Assembler. This basically what we'll do is food. As you can see, 330 receipts of only food, which is quite nice to kind of automatize food production. In case of the food, that will take the most of the diet components that we need, so grains, fruits, proteins and vegetables. We have these 5 options, so stuffed artichoke, eggplant parmesan, tacos, pineapple pepperoni pizzas, and supreme pizzas. And all of these has a culinary assembler recipe, so it is quite nice. Now LV circuits still have the Psi Energy component of the diet. Source berries, pies and rolls, they have the mana component of the diets. And well, sugar, there is a lot of options. And again, they have a culinary assembler recipe. The next thing has to do with AE2 automation. And the ME requester now received a receipt. So you can see this at EV tier. So it's not something that we can do right now. However, there was not a receipt, I think, before this. Now there is a receipt. This will allow some basic automation. Not only that, also the level emitters and threshold emitters, they as well have a receipt right now. Another thing is that building gadgets, I don't know if it is at this update or the previous update, but now they do have a receipt as well, a proper receipt. Before they used to have the vanilla receipt, so using lapis lazuli and gold and iron, but now it uses LV components. Yes, some of them uses LV components, and some of them uses MV and HV components. There's been also some minor bug corrections and other changes, so if you're interested in that, I would recommend you to go to Cosmic Frontiers GitHub page. There you will find everything. Now, one last thing that I want to mention before continuing, and it is related to the series, is that I will most likely post the series whenever I finish HV. So at HV, we really don't have that much else to do. The major things, which are very interesting and will be very fun to do, is rare earth processing, part of the plat line. So getting nickel, platinum, and palladium. The platinum group sludge, it is at EV, so it is something that we are not just yet there. We are also missing the rutile processing in order to get titanium, as well as getting into the moon to get luminite. And to get with luminite, Ethereum from the Undergarden, and then neodymium from the rare earth processing, we can get into EV. So it is a lot. It is not really that little. It is quite a lot, but it should be quite easy to get. Maybe 2 more episodes. So one episode we can focus on getting into the Undergarden and the moon, and the other episode we can focus it on rare earth processing. So yes, we are really close to ending HV, and I feel that it is going to be a good point to post this series. Now, don't take it wrong. The modpack is really cool. I'm really enjoying it. Even though I'm not really posting that much, and I quite progressing very slow, I'm quite enjoying it. And of course, EV is such a large chapter, and it has a lot of new things. For example, fission. We have the nanoprocessors, the nanoprocessor line. We are able to get Virtuum Melt, which is using the Alloy Blast Smelter. We are able to get into the power substation, as well as better ways of generating energy. So it is quite a cool chapter. And even IV is also very interesting, as well as LUV. And LUV is quite interesting as well, as it includes blood magic into it. So there are a lot of things that are quite interesting to progress and to play through, and to manage and discover what kind of processing lines and how to do them efficiently. However, there are a lot of other stuff that I want to try, as well as I also want to play through Divine Journey as well. So, and of course, this modpack is still under early development. I cannot stop mentioning that. It is important to have that into consideration. Just as Steam has been reworked, there are high chances that chapters like LV and MV, they will also be reworked. Maybe not all of the way through, like it was with Steam, but there are a lot of changes coming soon. And I basically don't want to like stress that much on having to change a lot of things around the base and stuff. So what I'm thinking is that I'll give some time to this modpack to develop. As I am seeing right now, I've started playing it way too earlier. I thought it would be a good idea. Maybe it was, maybe it wasn't. I don't know. Do I regret it? Of course not. It was really fun, and it is going to be really fun as well to see how this develops. because yes, as I said on the first episode, I was really intrigued and interested in this mod pack, and it is quite fun to play through it. And this is my first GregTech mod pack that I am actually playing through, so yes, it quite have a, you know, it has a place inside my heart. So yeah, just wanted to say that. So yeah, the mod pack is cool. If you want to play it, play it. I truly recommend it, but I'll wait a bit to keep playing through it. Maybe I'll keep playing it off camera, so just by myself, in the spare of my spare time. As I am doing this on my spare time, maybe I'll just leave it on the spare of the spare time. I don't want to just void all of this progress. It is quite nice to see everything just, you know, building itself. It's very fun to do that. But yes, a lot of, just as this phrase that is very popular, every advertisement is not good advertisement. And I think at the position that it is my channel and the way I'm doing videos, I think I won't be giving a good marketing to this mod pack. So yeah, I'll just wait. And I mean, there is nothing bad with waiting. I'm really loving this mod pack. But sometimes you have to, you know, let go the things you love and then just watch them grow and come back whenever everything is in a better position. Am I crying? No, you're crying. Shut up. But anyway, I just wanted to mention all of that before actually starting with the new SteamMage. So let's get into it. Now, the SteamMage has received some changes. Some changes, it's quite quite a small word. It's been reworked. And it is, you can divide this into two parts. So we have pre-steel, well, not pre-steel, but pre-industrial primitive blast furnace, or we can call it now IPBF. So pre-IPBF and post-IPBF. And if we look at pre-IPBF changes, there's been a lot of interesting reworks. So I think we can start with the most interesting changes. Well, the first one, we are going to start with the same three main machines for the progression. So a forge hammer, an alloy smelter, and a steam compressor. Of course, at the regular tier. These are the high pressures because I didn't want to recraft them. So the forge hammer will allow us to make plates at a 3:2 ratio, so 3 ingots for 2 plates. Alloy smelter, best way of making early bronze. And the steam compressor to compress stuff. What else you need it? It's just compressing. However, there are two large quests in this first part, and it is the steam mixing vessel and the steam caster, which are two quite interesting machines. Well, rather than machines, they are multiblocks. Yes, now we have more multiblocks at SteamMage. Before that, the main steam multiblock that one would craft, it was the steam oven, which basically acted like a furnace, but instead of using energy or coal, you would use steam. We never crafted through our first playthrough, so it was really something that I really didn't know it existed. I just came to know that right now, and it is raining. The other machine that we would have is a steam grinder, but this would basically work as 8 LV macerators, of course without the byproducts, which again, we really haven't crafted, again, because I didn't know it existed. Yeah, there are a lot of things that I'm just learning right now. But those two multiblocks, they are vanilla GregTech. These two multiblocks though, the large steam mixing vessel and the steam caster, I think they are not vanilla. They are Cosmic Frontiers curated kind of things. So they were made on the progression of this mod pack, I think. Please correct me. But yeah, these two multiblocks are quite interesting, as this will work as a steam mixing machine, and this will work as a steam fluid solidifier. So of course, it won't be able to do all of the receipts, of all of the possible receipts. It will only be able to do the ones that are marked at ULB. This is important to know. So if it is marked at ULB as a minimum tier, then it will run on here. So something like bronze, if you want the dust, it will work here. Now both of these machines has its uses. So if we come at the quest, this steam mixing vessel is used in order to make fire clay. And of course, this is a new recipe. Before, I think fire clay, it required something. I don't remember what it required. I think it required netherrack dust in order to make the fire clay thing. And of course, netherrack, you need to go to the nether, but we weren't able to get into the nether before getting steel. Now that has changed, and fire clay doesn't use netherrack. But if we were to use netherrack, there are still the ruined portals around the overworld. But now it uses ashes, brick, and clay. And of course some water in order to make the fire clay bolts. The fire clay bolts, you would compress them to get the compressed fire clay. And this one in an alloy smelter, together with coal, dust, you get the fire bricks. Quite interesting change. So yes, these three machines, you are going to be using them a lot at the beginning. And this large mixing vessel is a must. Now, because we are talking about steam multi-blocks, there are a couple of things that we have to take into consideration. So multi-blocks, they take hatches and buses, right? So you need liquids and you need items. However, even the ULB hatches and buses, they require an assembler. So we cannot craft it at Steam Age. What are we going to be using then? For that, now we have bronze hatches and steam buses. So bronze fluid input hatches and buses, they uses a bronze machine casing and a piece of glass in order to make both the input and output. And in the case of the buses, they uses a chest together with a bronze machine casing. The same for input and output. However, I think these buses and hatches, you can only use them on the Steam multi-blocks. So it is not something that you are, you're supposed to use on regular multi-blocks. They are only made to be able to use these Steam multi-blocks. However, all of our machines at the Steam Age, they uses Steam. So in that case, then this mixing vessel will also have to use Steam, right? That's why we now have Steam input hatches. The Steam input hatches, again, they uses a lot of bronze. They uses bronze in everything. Bronze plates, bronze fluid pipes, and bronze drums, which also uses more plates and long bronze rods in order to get the Steam input hatches, which will store steam, basically. So yeah, expect using a lot. What I mean a lot is a lot of bronze. Now if we were to use this mixing vessel, let's say we want to craft the fire clays, the bolts, we only need to input on the input bus the brick dust, ashes, and clay dust. And in the input hatch, we only need to input some water. This is not working, and that is because we need steam in order to make all of this work. I said we need steam to make this work. And there is it. We are producing fire clay bricks. You can see this second steam in order to produce. And we get our fire clay bolts. And as you could have noticed, yes, it didn't crafted 2 recipes, it crafted only, it didn't craft it 2 times the recipe, it crafted it only once. And that is most likely because this has a parallel support, I think. I'm not really sure. But yeah, it crafted only once, I think. So yeah, don't quote me on that. But anyway, now with these fire clay bolts, you would just put it on the compressor. We will use the compressor that I have right here. And with that, we should be getting the compressed fire clay. Oh, and actually I have a bunch of it. And of course, in the steam alloy smelter, Let's imagine this is a steam alloy smelter. This is not, this is an electrical alloy smelter, by the way, if you couldn't notice. If we were to combine the compressed fire clay together with coal dust, we would be getting the fire bricks right here. And to use these fire bricks in order to make the fire bricks, what you would need, there are two options you can follow. First one is a crafting table recipe using 1 bucket of liquid concrete, 6 fire bricks and 2 gypsum dust will get us the fire bricks, only one of them. But if we were to use a fluid solidifier, we would only need half a bucket of concrete together with 8 fire bricks in order to make 1 fire bricks. Yeah, basically you use less concrete and a bit more of fire brick in order to make the same amount of fire bricks. The thing is that it is simpler to use the fluid solidifier way, and that's why we have the steam caster, which is a fluid solidifier. We have here 1 bucket of liquid concrete. So in order to make all of this work, of course we need some steam, and we would need the fire bricks itself. And if we of course reset the update the multi-block, hopefully we should be getting it, but we are not. And yes, let's suppose we are getting the fire bricks. Now why this doesn't work? This should work, unless I'm doing something wrong. This big boy does fluid solidification in Steam, allowing you to create fire bricks. It may also unlock some nice receipts later, and sure. I see, this is LV. But before that, then let me test something. Can we overclock these multi-blocks? This is something I don't know. Let's test this on right now. So there are 2 input hatches. No, we cannot overclock this. So yeah, most likely there is something wrong with the machine, or there is something wrong with me. I think it is both. But we would supposedly be able to use this caster in order to make fire bricks easier. And I mean, it is better to do it easier because it is a lot of fire bricks what we are supposed to be using on Steam. This is just a lot. And of course, all of this progression, it is in order to make the primitive blast furnace, which will allow us to get our first pieces of steel, which is the same. There is no change on this. The primitive blast furnace it is still the primitive blast furnace. This big boy here. And of course you still have the coke oven route in order to get creosote buckets, to get treated wood, to get the primitive pump, to be able to use the steam boilers, either the solar boilers, the liquid boilers or the solid boilers. And after you get the steel, you're able to upgrade them into the high pressure ones, as well as being able to upgrade your alloy smelter, forge hammer and your compressor. However, here's where the really interesting thing starts. So after getting your primitive blast furnace, you start crafting a large batch of steel, and this unlocks a bunch of new stuff. So again, the first one, the high pressure varieties of the boilers, as well as the high pressure varieties of your regular steam machines. But with this, we also unlock 2 new 1-block machines, and that is the steam bender and the steam wire mill. Yes, you heard right. Steam benders and wire mills. Benders and wire mills. Instead of getting 2 plates per each 3 ingots, now from here, from Steam, you can get 1 plate per each ingot. And the same with wires. Instead of getting 2 1/8 wires per each ingot, instead of getting 1/8 wire per each ingot, you're now able to get 2 1/8 wires per each ingot. And this is quite nice because, as you could have seen, we use a lot of plates. A lot of plates in LV, in Steam. And of course, why do we need wires? That is because we also have ULV components at Steam. And for this we need a lot of wires. So that is a lot of tin and a lot of lead as wires. So it is quite quite good to have this wire mill. You use a lot of ULB components. A lot. Not only that, some of the nets blocks and multi-blocks, they do require program circuits. But now they don't require a LV circuit. With an ULV tier vacuum tube, it is just enough, which is crafted using wires as well. So yeah, believe it or not, you consume a lot of plates and a lot of wires. So it is quite good to have these one block machines this early on the game. Now, what comes next after getting your first ingots of steel? With this, there are two new multi-blocks machines we can start building. The first one is the industrial primitive blast furnace, which will mark a before and after, as well as the high pressure assembler. Yes, an assembling machine at Steam. Surprising. Again, this high pressure assembler, it will only craft ULB tier receipts. Just as these two vendors and wire mills, they will also use ULB tier receipts. So yeah, these two ones are quite neat to have, are quite nice to have, and we need both. So yeah, the high pressure assembler, it works like an assembler, but we only craft ULB receipts. And in this case, the industrial primitive blast furnace, it is a better version of the regular primitive blast furnace, and it is the predecessor of our IBF, our electric blast furnaces. Now, as the quest says, the industrial primitive blast furnace is a direct upgrade from your previous primitive blast furnace. It is 25% faster and processes 8 receipts at once. However, it now consumes creosote. So yeah, one more use for creosote at this early in the game. And that is quite nice because you have access to parallel steel production. So yeah, it is quite nice. You don't need like a bunch of these ones. You would mostly need only one or two of these ones to kind of batch craft your steel for all of your necessities until you get the EBFs, which uses oxygen together with the iron. So as you can see here, the IPBF, it uses creosote together with the regular receipt. And the thing is that you can now also craft steel out of blocks of raw iron or blocks of iron. So again, it is quite nice. It is quite an improvement. And of course, you can do 8 receipts at once. So again, very nice. Now from here, I think that's everything related pre-IPBF and pre-nether. The next thing, it's going to be post-nether things. And all of this is related to occultism. And I think all of the occultism part, we will be doing it together. So, we have most of the chapter already completed. That is quite nice. Now these ones are the only missing. I mean the most important ones to keep going with HV. And for that we need some rune steel. This is going to be the new material for the LV era. So the LV machine hulls, they now, instead of using only steel, they use steel and the rune steel. Now I had to go on a small trip to get some other world wood. This one we can throw it on the spirit fire and we will get other world ashes. And now using these ashes together with some of the runes and a couple of yesnium, we can get our runed steel. This is going to be quite slow. And that's how we get rune steel. Now this rune steel, we will have to put it through a vendor to get the double plates, and then the double plates we can use it for the LV machine casings. That is basically the only use we will have for rune steel at the moment. And we get that we can get our LV machine hull using soul resin. We can use it to get some resistors. This is the new recipe for it. We will need fine yesnium wire together with some coke dust and the liquid soul resin to get 4 resistors. So yes, we use the new ore, we use coke dust, and then this new liquid. And all of this, we follow this route. So we need treated wood planks in order to make the resin circuit board together with 1 plate of soul resin. This one we covered on cinder watts and copper wire to get the basic printed circuit boards. And then these ones together with a plate of rune steel, a couple of vacuum tubes, resistors, and red alloy wire, we should be getting the basic electronic circuits. If we were to use the assembler, basically the same. And in order to get rubber, this is the following recipe. So we do need the industrial primitive blast furnace together with some sulfur, charcoal, creosote, and hardened resin. Hardened resin we can get it from sticky resin, or compressing sticky resin, or soul resin. So yeah, there are a lot of changes, which unfortunately I'm not going to play through. But I mean, I just wanted to show all of this because it is quite interesting. It is quite a new way of looking at SteamAge, and that is pretty nice. It is very much refreshing to see all of this process that we need in order to get into LV and progress part of the LV chapter. So it is quite refreshing and it is quite like novel just to have a word. I really don't know that much about Crytek modpacks, but I feel this is not something normal. Another great thing about this is that these runes are supposed to be kind of a way of making you know, Magitech as a foundation. And it's something I noticed while playing Cosmic Frontiers, and it's that it is not that the magic is something different from the technology. So it's not like there is your technology path and then your magic path. Here everything is basically interconnected. And one of those ways, which is something that we have already done, is through the mana simulator and creating potent mana. So instead, with Botania, instead of using flowers, of course, you use flowers on the beginning of Botania, but whenever you advance through Botania, you get to unlock these mana simulators, which is at MV. Right here on the Botania part, you get to unlock the mana simulator, for which you use to get the potent mana. So yeah, basically it is not something separated from technology, but it is quite well implemented. And I really loved how all of this occultism chapter was integrated into Steam as a getaway, yes, as a gate to LV. It is pretty much interesting how all of this was done. So yeah, let me just open to land very quick. Let's enable the edit mode and let's just complete all of this instantly. And with this, we only need a checkmark in order to complete SteamAge. And of course, there is now this story entry. And for this, we need 1 shard of perpetuity. So let's grab all of these rewards. we get a lot of stuff. A lot. We got 19 large shards of perpetuity and 529 shards of perpetuity. These shards are the coin of Cosmic Frontiers. Of course, the story is still a placeholder. It's not something that it is completed, and this also spended my shards. Yeah, it spended all of my shards. So yes, it is not quite a good idea to just claim all. But anyway, to questions what's here. Something was meant to be here, but I cannot seem to remember. This story that seems similar yet foreign, remembered but also forgotten, is burning a hole in my head. If I keep establishing myself in this world, I should be able to find a starting point for this story. These headaches have gotten unbearably loud. We are turning crazy. But yeah, once you complete all of this line of occultism, that is when you unlock all of the LV stuff, which is unchanged. And again, it is very likely that a lot of these things will get a rewrite. So yeah, everything is in development, but everything is just getting a good development. And that is something I really love about this. Now, of course, again, there is still some stuff remaining to be fixed during this update. Maybe by the time this episode is out, some of the stuff is fixed, or maybe not. I don't know. In the meantime, I'll just be batch crafting a bit more of rune steel, enough to complete all of HV, and enough to get you know, maybe 32 LV machine hulls. We are not really going to be using them a lot, but it is always good to have them. I will also spend some time adding some patterns, as especially the inputs and output hatches and buses receipt has been changed. So it is something I need to add to these things. Before, I would just be crafting the hulls and then put in a chest or a glass above. But now, because they require an assembler, I think it's better to have them on auto crafting directly. So yeah, I'm just going to fit some stuff around the base, and after that I'll start recording the next episode, which is going to be finally actual progression. But this time, all of the things I wanted to do around the base, especially related to AE2, has been already implemented. I'm still missing to properly do the mana steel and the galvanized ether steel part of all of the base. But with this base, we should be able to get into EV very soon. We are very close. In the next episode, most likely we will get all of the stuff that we need to enter into the Undergarden, as well as all of the stuff that we need to get into the moon. And in the following episode, we will get the resources that we need from those dimensions and process them. So we will be doing getting Luminite. We will do basic platinum processing and LRE processing. And after that, with all of that, we should be able to get our EV machine hull. And that's where this series will get a pause. So anyway, if you're still here, thank you for watching. And I hope you have a better day, because it can always be better. And I'll see you on the next episode. Bye.